In this lesson, we're going to add our website to the Google Search Console. If you don't know what Google Search Console is, it's basically a set of data, tools and diagnostics needed to create and maintain a Google-friendly website. So basically what you do is you add your website to Google Search Console and they give you information and tools to ensure that every aspect of your website is up to scratch and help you improve the display of your website inside of Google search results. So let's get started by adding our website. So enter your domain name here and click Add a Property. Then you will be asked to verify that you are the owner of that domain name. Their recommended way is to upload an HTML file. However, I feel for RapidWeaver, the alternate method of an HTML tag is a little bit easier. All you need to do is copy this meta tag onto the home page of your site. So copy the meta tag here and then go to RapidWeaver and paste it into the header tab of the HTML code section in the page inspector and publish that change. Once that's done, we can go back to the Search Console, click Verify, and you should see a success message saying that we've verified the ownership. So click Continue. And you'll then be presented with the Google Search Console dashboard. Now a lot of the pages here are going to be empty for you right now, and that is because it's going to take time for Google to present data and information about your website. So we won't go through all of the pages and features in this video. However, we will be using the Search Console in follow-up lessons, so this is just a primer for the next few lessons. However, there are a couple of pages that we can have a look at and ensure that everything's working on our site. And those are, if we go down to Crawl and the Sitemaps page, here we can submit our sitemap to Google. So if we click on the Add or Test Sitemap button, if you remember from the Sitemaps lesson previously, we know that RapidWeaver publishes a sitemap.xml file to the root of our domain for us with links to all of our pages. So what we should do straight away is submit that to the Search Console to ensure that our pages are indexed as quickly as possible. So simply enter sitemap.xml here and submit that, and then refresh the page. And here you can see that we have 14 web pages submitted, and that means that the Search Console is going to go through and index those and then come back in a while and provide us data about all of our web pages. And the other page we can have a look at is the robots.txt tester. If you remember previously, we had a robots.txt file inside of our RapidWeaver project. I deleted that page in one lesson. However, the robots.txt file still exists on your server and the Search Console has picked that up here. So it's good to check this to ensure that there's no errors or warnings, and we don't have any of those, so that's good. And the other reason why this page is useful is down the bottom here. You can enter a URL to ensure that that page is not being blocked from being indexed, or you can ensure that it is being blocked if you didn't want it to show up in search engine results pages. So as an example of that, if I enter /articles, which is our blog page, and ensure that the Googlebot can index that, we'll see a green success message with the line highlighted to show us which rule is being applied to that URL. Don't worry too much if you're unsure of what this is doing. Just as long as you enter the URL you want to check is being indexed and then you get a green message here, that will show you that that page is being indexed. If, for example, you wanted to disallow the articles, you could add /articles here to the disallow rule and then click the test button, and you'll get a red error message or a red warning message to say this URL is not being indexed and this is the rule that is blocking that. So as I say, a handy way to check that your URLs are being indexed if you're not seeing them in search results pages. We'll remove that for now and ensure it turns back to green, which it does. Okay, next up we'll have a quick look at the Fetchers Google page. And here again I'm going to enter articles, and we can click the fetch and render button, and that will show us how Google renders the web page that we've entered. And we've got a status of being redirected, so let's have a look at that and see where we're being redirected to. And what's happening here is that I forgot to add the / after the article's word. So let's just go back to Fetch as Google and put in the correct article's URL with the / and we'll say fetch and render and wait for that to update. And here we'll see it's complete, so we can go and have a look at that. And here we can see this is how the Google bot saw our page, and this is how visitors saw it. So we can scroll through here, make sure everything is looking okay, and that Google can actually view the content. And this is good to ensure that the Google bot is actually seeing the same content as the visitor on your site. If it isn't, you might have a couple of errors on the page, or you might have some HTML errors, something like that. So again, good to just have a quick check on 1 or 2 pages just to ensure that your HTML and the theme you're using is up to scratch. Okay, so next I will just show you a couple of the other pages that we're going to use in future lessons. So under the search appearance here on structured data, we're going to look at this in a follow-up lesson, but this allows us to provide some rich information to search engines to allow them to provide more detailed search results. An example of this would be reviews. So on our reviews page, we could add some structured data to say that this is a review and how many stars we've got and the source of that review, things like that. And when someone searches for a review of our business or one of our products, we could present that in a much nicer way. As I say, we'll have a look at how we can do this in a future lesson. Under the HTML improvements pages, that will tell you how we could improve the HTML, obviously. Again, we will have a look at that if we've got time in a future lesson. And then under search traffic, there's search analytics, links to your site. This is particularly important. We're probably not going to get much data for this in this series, simply because this isn't a real world site. However, when you start to get inbound links, you can come here and see who is linking to your site and see what's working, see what's not, see where those links are coming from. It's all good data to help you analyze how your SEO is actually going. So yeah, that's a handy page. And then on the Google index, you can see here the index status. Currently, we don't have any pages indexed. When we come back in a future video, we should have some pages indexed, and then we can start actually using some of this data provided to us. So as I say, there's not much data inside of the Search Console just yet, so we can't really do much on here other than just verify our site and use those crawl pages as we did at the beginning of the video. However, I would encourage you to read improve the search presence of your domain name message that you get by default, because that will go through a few key points to get your website up and running inside of the Search Console. And as I say, the Search Console might not be as valuable in this tutorial series. However, over time, it really helps you to analyze your website, check for any errors, see what improvements you could make, ensure that you've got unique browser titles, all these tiny little details that can help really tweak your SEO and get you higher up the search engine results pages is provided to you here. So I really recommend that you sign up for Search Console. It's free, and as I say, it provides you with a lot of great data to help you tweak your SEO results. So that just about does it for this lesson. In the next few lessons, we will revisit a couple of the features on the Search Console and see how they can help us out. But for now, let's move on to adding HTTPS and caching to your website.